In a year of politics during a pandemic, months of campaigning, political ads, and debates, all coming down to this moment. Results from the 2020 election are coming in tonight. And good evening, everyone. I'm Christy Casciano.
I'm Jeff Kulikowski. Thank you so much for joining us. Special edition of News Channel 9, 11 at 11. It is election night, of course, and the results have been coming in all night long.
Thousands of people coming out to vote in central New York today. Thousands more submitting absentee ballots, participating in early voting. In an election like no other, we have team coverage tonight. Our team is where they need to be so that you can hear from the candidates via Zoom or at small socially distanced gatherings. All right, let's get started in the race for the White House. President Donald Trump takes on Democratic challenger Vice President Joe Biden. Now it takes 270 electoral votes to win the 2020 presidential election. As it stands right now, Biden in the lead with 135 to President Donald Trump's 88. Still very, very early. Little history. Remember, President Trump defeated Clinton 304 to 227 in the electoral votes, and Clinton won the popular vote. So we'll keep watching this for you. Statewide, New Yorkers have chosen Democrat Joe Biden for president. Biden's victory in New York over Republican President Donald Trump widely expected. So Joe Biden picking up the state's 29 electoral college votes tonight. So that's the bigger picture. We're following local results for you. Let's get right to it. Jeff, let's take a look at the big race everybody's watching in the 24th Congressional District. What are the early returns showing?
A lot of rematches here in congressional races locally, right? 24th we're focused on. Before we even get to those numbers, but you can read them, I want to point something out to you. Right here, that's going to tell you how much early voting and also precincts from today have been reporting. This number right here, and in this particular case, it's close to 90,000 potential absentee ballots. Those are the amount that have been requested. But as you see it right now, with 75% in from today in early voting, John Katko up big right now over Dana Balter. Of course, John's the incumbent. Steve Williams garnering about 7,500 votes. He was on the line, but really not running. Now I want to take a look at the 22nd district race. Again, another rematch. Right now, barely half of the precincts and early voting numbers are in. There's about 16% of the eligible voters in that 22nd district that have requested an absentee ballot. So that could play a factor here. But the former Congresswoman, Claudia Tenney, trying to regain her seat from Anthony Brindisi with about a 13,000 vote lead right now. But again, that could change quite a bit. Keith Price coming in with about 3,600 votes. But we have to remember all of those absentee ballots out there and that everything is not in as of right now. For right now, let's send it live to News Channel 9's Andrew Donovan. He's been at the Onondaga County Board of Elections all night long. Andrew, I imagine it's a pretty active and busy place, especially now as a lot of those cards have been back in, probably a few stragglers still to come.
Yeah, Jeff, the busiest part of the building is a place we're not allowed. It's where those results data cards are actually being uploaded to different computers in a secure room. But we do see some straggling poll sites drop off their equipment here now more than 2 hours after the polls closed in Onondaga County. It's been amazing to see the work that the Board of Elections, its staff, its volunteers do after the polls close. We saw that first wave of results from the 9 days of early voting come in right at 9:01. That's an accomplishment. 1 minute after the Board of Elections is legally allowed to post the results, it was out in 100% fashion. Now we're seeing the results come in from today's vote in person. As these workers come through with the data, it gets posted to the Board of Elections website. But now what we'll be watching in the days ahead, the absentee ballots being counted. That won't start until this weekend at the soonest, because over the next few days, tonight's results will then be double checked. The Board of Elections will also take out the absentee vote of anyone who also voted in person. People have the right to do that, but they don't get 2 votes. So the Albany Board of Elections for the state will cross-check that. The ballots will be pulled here if necessary. And then finally on Monday here in Onondaga County, the thousands of absentees will begin to be counted. And of course, with close races still at the end of the night, those absentee ballots could tip the race for a certain candidate over another in those tight matches. Live in Syracuse, Andrew Donovan at News Channel 9.
All right, great explanation, Andrew. Thank you. Republican Congressman John Katko is running for re-election. It'll be his fourth term as representative in the 24th Congressional District. If he wins, News Channel 9's Josh Martin following John Katko's campaign tonight. And Josh, you're live outside the Camillus Municipal Building for us. Congressman Katko right now showing to be in the lead, but it's very, very early in the race, too close to call right now, too early to call. How is he feeling? Is he confident about keeping his seat?
Well, Christy, we're following along with the campaign the best we can. The Katko campaign has been quiet this evening. We haven't spoken to him or heard from him since we spoke to him around noon today. We looked on the congressman's social media, no posts on Twitter or Facebook. We have reached out to his campaign for any comment tonight, and we have yet to receive anything from them as far as any update on how he's doing. We do know that he currently has a lead in the 24th Congressional District race, and that he is at home here in Camillus watching these results come in. He's hoping for a fourth term as congressman. Right now, he's in position to do so. He said earlier today he did not expect to declare victory again. There are still a lot of votes to be counted in this race. The pandemic making this election very different. Normally, there would be a big party that we'd probably see the congressman at. We'd be surrounded by several people of a certain party as we prepare to see those results come in. Obviously, this year, much different. The congressman opting to stay home tonight. Also opting to stay home, his opponent, Democrat Dana Balter. With the latest on that campaign in Clinton Square, our Adrian Smith is live there now in Syracuse. Adrian.
Josh, we've been in touch with the Balter campaign, and last we knew she is expected to speak out tonight. We're unsure of the time, but we do know that is dependent on as these election results continue to roll in. Now, we're not sure of the time again, but like many candidates, instead of those large in-person gatherings that we're used to on election night, Balter is with her close family, friends, and campaign staff as we all continue to find out more of the results. When we saw her earlier today as she was hitting the campaign trail in the final hours of Election Day, Balter said that she was feeling confident, and she said she feels good about the strong early voter turnout and the interest people are taking in this election, both at the local and the presidential level.
I feel really good about this election. I am confident that we have made the case to voters about what is at stake in this race. I'm confident that we have laid out a very clear choice between John Katko and myself. And based on the feedback that I get and based on what we see happening across this district and across the country, I'm confident that we're going to be successful.
A good amount of the results are in across the 24th Congressional District, but as the counties continue to count the absentee ballots that are coming in, though it can really change how this race turns out, and we'll certainly keep you posted throughout it all. Live in Clinton Square, Adrian Smith, News Channel 9.